and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Five Fingers to the Face podcast proudly brings to you the Clashing Conference's first ever female guest. And I got to tell you, I'm very excited. We have the one, the only, Miss Kayla Rossi. This woman, I mean, I'm going to clap it up for her real quick. I haven't done that before. But again, this woman's bio and resume, this thing is like a laundry list, ladies and gentlemen. So again, we have a lot of questions lined up. Miss Rossi, thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I feel special. First lady. First lady in the house. So.
Bragging rights so much. I have a real quick thing before I get going. I got to do all the corporate stuff and the busy businessman thing. But really quick, I know you're from Boston.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the Knickerbockers?
Yikes.
Okay. And follow-up question, willingness to help me beat some of them up after you have your baby.
I got you.
Let's go. Okay. You heard it here first. So Topher and everybody else, watch your back because
put some people through tables, some power slams, body slams.
Don't promise us.
Cody, get the table, buddy. Get the table.
Cody. Got it. I got it. Already unlocked.
All right, really quick. Let's get to our sponsors again. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it until I go there. And when I go there, I'm going to take a great video. But if you are in the Lancaster area and you need a haircut, you go to Sparrow Hair Studio. You go see Lean. If you are a member of the podcast, you get a discount. So you should be going to see her. And if you're not, I'm going to come find you. And Miss Rossi might put you through a table. So Sparrow Hair Studio, Lancaster, go see Lean. Boom. Also, if you are looking for a custom 3D chain, you already know where to go. Lotwin. And guess what? They won't make you spell the name when you order it. So, Lotwin 3D chain. Also, put in the code TCCPOD. You get 10% off. I know I lied a couple of weeks ago. It's 10, not 15. But either way, if they give you 15, you can thank Rick Ramon. So, 3D custom chain, Lotwin. You guys ready to start asking some questions?
Absolutely.
Fire away.
Now, I'm going to let you gentlemen go because we're going to be nice to our guests. And I have, obviously, questions queued up for later. So I want you guys to have your chance. So, Cody, Kyle, by all means.
So I read that I guess you trained at the Cody Rhodes gym, right?
I did, yes.
How was that training? Did you get to train with Cody Rhodes, or is it just kind of the gym kind of thing? Or
no, I did get to train with Cody Rhodes. He was honestly present there a lot when I was there. Mostly he was in charge of more of the promo work with us and working with us on that kind of thing, because that's kind of his shtick. He's very, very good at that. But he did get in the ring with us multiple times through the 12 weeks that I was there, and just that's all around badass person and really dope human being. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do they let you go home, or is it like boot camp and they like wake you up in the middle of the night and scream?
So my story is kind of like different. I wouldn't say I was like into wrestling. I like didn't really watch wrestling growing up. It wasn't really. So I posted this random video on Instagram with Brian Cage, who at the time I was sponsored by Redcon One, so we were sponsored by the same supplement company, and just fooling around. I got in the ring with him and just ran some ropes, did a little pass kind of thing, and posted on Instagram. And QT Marshall hit me up and recruited me to come to the Nightmare Factory. So with like a 2 weeks notice, I was living in Boca at the time, packed up my stuff and moved there and spent the full 12 weeks. I like slept on a couch, boot camp style, with a friend, and, kind of learned the whole business. So it was really cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Kyle?
So you basically just kind of fell into it, right? So you didn't grow up a wrestling fan or do anything like that. So like from a historical perspective, like did you even know anything about wrestling, or was this all just brand new to you?
It was so brand new to the point that I was like embarrassed. My now husband at the time, I was like texting him. We had just started dating, and I was like, what is a power bomb? Who is this? Who is this? Please help me so I don't look like an idiot. And just kind of learning things as I go. Like I was playing the video game so I could learn the moves, like
That's awesome.
WWE and stuff. But I do have a very athletic background. I was a gymnast. basically my whole adolescence, was a cheerleader at UConn. So had a very, very athletic background. And people always were like, oh, you should be a WWE wrestler. And I, now looking back, I wish that I got into it sooner because I didn't start till I was 33 years old. So, I was kind of on the old end, as it was, but yeah, I just, utilized my athleticism and kind of, watched tape and studied and learned as I went. But yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're probably, I mean, you're probably one of those coaches' dreams, right? Because you're athletic, you're probably very coachable, and you didn't have a lot of history in your head kind of clouding your moveset,
Yeah.
right? Or clouding anything. You could just be, all right, here's what we're going to do, and
Yeah.
go out and do it, right? And you learned it, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And,
cool.
that was one of the compliments I did get, from the coaches was like, oh, you're super teachable because I didn't know anything. So I had wasn't in there trying to be, trying to show off or have any idea what I was supposed to look like doing it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's because I don't know if you guys have watched the LFG, the WWE show. It's like the reality type of thing with all these up and coming wrestlers and things like that. And some of these guys that have been around for a long time trying to learn all these moves, it's like, well, they're already stuck in their ways. It's hard to coach
Yeah.
them, you know. So
Yeah.
it seems like it's been a lot easier for the ones that literally are just brand new to it. So
Yeah.
that's awesome to hear.
Yeah. No, I was in there learning how to bump for the first time,
Yeah.
everything. So
How is that? How is that? Because I've seen all those shows where people are like, "Man, this hurts," and then other people say it doesn't. So I'm sure the first
it
couple times
wasn't
it probably.
it wasn't bad. The very first time I did it, I didn't tuck my chin enough, so I did get a little whiplash. But other than that, once you hit it correctly and you're staying tight, and I have a lot of body awareness, so I'm able to brace my core and do what I need to do and fall in certain positions. So it wasn't honestly bad for me.
Okay, that's awesome.
Did you find that your background in athleticism kind of already put you a level above those that were with you? I mean, I know your experience may not have been on level with them, but certainly your athleticism had to have been top
Yeah,
tier.
100%. And I don't want to sound cocky, or anything, but
Oh no, be cocky. That's
I know how to flip. I know how to move. I'm a gymnast. So simple things a hip toss. I'm doing it without having to post on someone because I'm just naturally athletic or naturally gifted in that way, or I've done the work, with being a gymnast. So it was easier for me to kind of learn those skills, and being strong as well helped. So you have a lot of wrestlers that have zero athletic background, and they have, my problem was more the confidence and the selling and the showing, the showmanship of it, versus the athletic part I picked up so easy. I could mimic pretty much anything that was showed to me. So
Yeah, I
that's
feel like that
definitely where I
sometimes
excelled.
is that's easier, right? If you're more athletic, we can like it seems like you can coach and teach the confidence part and the speaking part and everything else part, the wrestling part. But if you're not
Yeah.
athletic, you can't hide that, you know?
No, there was people that couldn't even do, the forward rolls, and stuff like that. So just little things were just came so much easier to me, that I was able to, get to TV in 7 weeks of
That's
starting
exactly
wrestling.
that was going to be my next question. Like, how
Yeah.
long did it take for you to realize, all right, I belong here and I'm going to excel at this? How long did that take you?
So I started the camp, and within, it was 6.5 weeks later, QT was like, hey, Joey Janela has this need for a manager. So within 6.5 weeks, whether I was ready or not, because honestly, I was so green, in terms of just knowing what to do in the ring and having ring confidence like that. But within 6.5 weeks, I was going to TV every single week, with AEW. So it was pretty
That's great.
badass,
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely. And then once you're on, you're like no turning back. Now I'm on every
no,
week.
literally, it was 7 weeks later. They were doing a show at, I forget the arena in Chicago. It's huge. It was 14,000 people, and I did this little piece where they introduced me, and I jumped into the ring and power slammed someone, but it was just, or power bombed someone, but yeah, 6.5 weeks later, I have no idea what I was doing. So.
who inspired you? So obviously that you came out as yourself with your government name, but who did you look to or try to craft your character after, or who were influences for you?
So, I mean, definitely China. She was like what everyone compared me to, but it was kind of like I was stuck between wanting, it wasn't like I was this like super hard badass. China was tall. She was huge. She's like 5'10". I'm 5'3". And I wanted to kind of mix like that badassery, but also with the athleticism and then like the sexiness as well. So I was kind of like wanting to jive all of those things together. Like I wasn't the super diva girl, but I wasn't the super just like hard girl either. So I kind of took bits and pieces from a bunch of different wrestlers. Jade at the time, she was a huge influence for me too because she was this strong, powerful girl, and was definitely athletic and looked the part. So I kind of just like took little bits and pieces from a bunch of different people.
So since you weren't like you didn't grow up a wrestling fan, when you came into it, were you starstruck by any of these athletes or any of these wrestlers? Did any of them like kind of did you think to yourself, "Hey, I can compete with these guys," or was it some of this stuff like, "Oh my gosh, that's so and so"?
I didn't really know many of them. So I wasn't like super starstruck. I mean, I remember when CM Punk came to AEW, everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's CM Punk." And I'm like, who is, I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
backstage, like Googling who this is. Like, and I'm always super respectful and I'm showing them their praise because I know that I'm supposed to be. And I know that they are a huge deal in wrestling. So I don't ever want to come across like I don't respect the grind. And now being in wrestling, I even respect it even more, just the amount of stress and what these people put their body through and the ups and downs of the whole thing. It's a tough industry. So I have uber respect for all of them.
Well, now that you're in it, do you get starstruck now?
I would say yes, more.
Okay.
100%. Like Sasha Banks or Mercedes now. I actually did some personal training for her, wrote her diet plan a few months ago and went out to the AEW show. And I was a little starstruck by her because I think she's super dope. And one thing that I get made fun of her all the time was when I first started the the camp at Nightmare Factory, Trish Stratus DM'd me and I had no idea who she was.
Oh, wow.
So I had no idea who she was. And I'm like texting QT and I'm like, hey, Trish Stratus just DM'd me, like giving me these huge compliments. And he's like, what do you mean Trish Stratus just DM'd you? Like, it was such a huge deal. And now looking back, I'm like, oh my God, like Trish Stratus, like that's so dope. That's so cool. So it's kind of just like those little things where I appreciate so much more now being in wrestling. So
I think it's safe to say no man has ever said the words that you just said. So that's
That is accurate. That is accurate.
Yeah.
Cody.
I'll fade that one.
I have some other questions, but I'm gonna be a gentleman. We're gonna show our manners. So I would like for you to ask some more questions, sir.
Am I showing up okay? Am I good? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Your time.
Yeah, okay. It's just like pausing on my end. But anyways, I don't know. It could have been asked when I had to rejoin. But with the celebrity training type deal, who do you think would be the most I guess high end celebrity that you've had to do the diet plan type deal for or train?
That I've had to train with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably Cody Rhodes. He's probably like the biggest celebrity that I've trained with. CM Punk did help me a little bit. We would do these, every week at TV. We would have practice before that I got to train. I got to train with Dustin every week. And well, they're all so cool. So I would say probably Cody Rhodes now. It's super awesome and badass just to see him succeed in the level of success that he's gotten over the last few years.
Uh-huh.
He's definitely climbed. That's for sure.
Yes.
Insane amount.
Kayla, so I want to backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
You're from Beantown.
Yes.
Tell me about your upbringing in Mass.
So I'm born in Boston, grew up in Lawrence until I was young, and then we moved to New Hampshire for high school. So went to Pinkerton Academy, huge high school, but my heart's always in Boston. I would love to move back there, but it's cold as hell and it's expensive, dude. Like compared to, I live in Texas now, and the housing market is so much different. It's so crazy compared to New England. So
Yep. And then you said you went to UConn. for college. When you were in college there, did any of the basketball teams win national championships?
The women did. The
I
women
I was
can't
gonna
even
did.
say
hate on the
they won
women's.
like every other year. So yeah, I would
Every
say
every year. Yeah.
And you were a
Even
cheerleader for men's or women's or both?
Just men's basketball and football. So
what years were you there?
2006, 2010.
Okay. Okay.
we would have
But
definitely
just
loved to
before
have
the
you at
national
UK.
champion then. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
UConn
Maybe
was
if
fun.
you give it a run back, you could come back to UK. It is the
Okay.
superior one. Sorry.
I know. I'm like my husband is 6'4", so I'm like, if my daughter is tall, like she's going to UConn, she's gonna play basketball.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. I wanted to ask you that. So, what of all your passions, whether it's being a gymnast or bodybuilding or wrestling, what is one of the passions that you hope that your daughter picks up or shares with you?
Ooh. So I will probably put her in gymnastics only because even if she doesn't like it, even if she doesn't do it for like the rest of her life, it teaches you so much about body awareness, about, just athleticism in general, discipline. I wouldn't be half, even close to the athlete that I am today if I wasn't in gymnastics. And I think putting my little girl in gymnastics at a young age will just teach her that, those skills that are necessary that you can like literally transfer to any sport out there. So
Any playground. Shout out to the little gym. My 3-year-old goes there, and yeah, same thing. He can climb like a monkey, and I trust him. So yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Loves his forward rolls. Sure can tuck and roll. So.
yeah. And just like, I don't know, just like strength. Like I was, at 10 years old, I had abs and shoulders and just like could do pull-ups. And I feel like just learning that at a young age just helped me. Even down the road with bodybuilding, just having that muscle memory and density from such a young age. So,
Well, it's got to be a confidence booster too, right? I mean, a self-confidence booster, and that's something that all of us that have daughters obviously want our daughters to have is that self-confidence, right? So that's huge.
100%. I know
Yeah.
my dad's so funny. He's like, you have to be okay if your daughter is not athletic. And I'm like, she's going to be athletic. There's no if. Like, what do you mean?
Well, actually, that's a follow-up question. What's the over/under on nurses and other babies you think your child is going to beat up in the maternity ward?
Oh, shit.
I'm thinking like 8
Right?
to
She's just going to
start.
come out swinging. So funny.
Boys, you better keep going because if you don't, I will. And I like to talk and ask a lot of questions.
So I do have to ask. I mean, if it's so now that you've been in it for a while, do you have that dream scenario, that dream match scenario of what you would love to do with, and who would you love to do it with?
Dream match. It was so funny because when I was like heavy into AW and like, doing traveling with TV and everything, Jade was like the one that I wanted to be matched up against just because I feel like it would be really cool to have just like two athletic powerhouses, going at it. I would love to do a match with Mercedes. I think that she is so talented and just so knowledgeable and in the ring, just has that experience. So I'd say between those two,
Okay.
probably my dream matches.
Yeah, I think those would be very entertaining matches. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that much.
Yeah.
For sure. For
And a
sure.
completely different spectrum, so
Yeah. And that's, I mean, take my money now. I'd
yeah.
pay to watch that any day of the week. Any day of the week.
I know. I kind of I wish that I got to wrestle Jade when she was in AW because there was such a buildup, and that's all I saw on Twitter was just like, you and Kayla and Jade need to go head to head, and it never happened. But
I think that's why one of the reasons why I was asking, because I would love to see that, and I don't know if you ever get a chance to go to WWE or anything like that, but that would be a dream matchup for me. I would love to see you go up against Naomi. I would love to see you
yeah,
go up against Bianca Belair for the same reason. I think
that
that
would
would
be
be a
cool
badass
too.
matchup. Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think that would be like they would tear the house down on like a pay-per-view event for sure.
Yeah.
Hale, what are your aspirations for wrestling after you have your baby?
I kind of just like want to see how it goes. I wish I had gotten to wrestling earlier. So when I first got into wrestling, I actually got recruited to go to the WWE tryouts as well. And then when I went to send in my paperwork, I was over 27. So they were like, nixed it in the butt, which was kind of like disappointing. So I wish, that I could have started when I was younger. But, the ultimate dream obviously is to go to WWE, of course. But we'll kind of see how it goes, after the baby and getting back in the ring. I did a random NWA match last August too. So, just kind of get my reps in and see where it goes and see where it takes me, maybe get back on AEW and go from there.
How confident do you feel on the mic, like cutting a promo on somebody?
Feel way more confident than I used to. I'm like so confidence I feel like is my weakness because I'm so scared of looking stupid. It's like held me back. I wish that I could just be like super unapologetically just like me, but I'm always like, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna look stupid or like I don't know this wrestling term or this that. So gaining that confidence, I feel like has helped me a lot. And then, just having the opportunity to do so. When I did my singles match, I had a manager as well, so I wasn't talking on the mic that much. And I feel like if I had the opportunity now, I'd want to just go for it and leave it all out there and like not worry about looking stupid or not worry about how I was perceived.
Now, do you think once your daughter comes, that'll give you more confidence? Like,
I
you want
think
to show
so.
her? Yeah, I think so
Because I got
too.
to show her, like, I can't be like, oh, mommy looks scared.
Right.
Mommy looks this. Like, no, that's your mom and she's a badass. Like,
Yeah.
kind of
Listen to
thing.
that promo she just cut. That's
Yeah.
awesome. She just tore that chick down. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah. That's badass. That'd be
Yeah.
good.
At least she
Kayla,
knows
I
she's not going to
asked
get
one of
bullied.
our. Oh no, she please.
Yeah.
She'll bully bullies. She'll be all right. So I know I asked about earlier your your character persona and coming out to your name. This is something I have asked a previous guest. So have you ever put any thought into perhaps rebranding yourself or creating an alternate character? Example, we know Kane. He was a wrestler and he did he was a dumpster guy or he was a dentist and then finally he found his niche. Have you ever thought of doing something like that so then that inner self can come out and really play?
Like, I always thought that I was a heel, and I don't know if it was just because my look, I had like the bright red hair and just like the muscles and, came across like resting bitch face kind of thing. But I feel like I would want to try being a face only because like I couldn't do all the showy flips and the moves and like the cool stuff. And especially now with having a daughter, I want her to be like, that's my mom kind of thing, like being the superhero and like kind of play into that. So I feel like I would want to kind of develop this like Avenger type of Black Widow badass character and go from there. So
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
But you could sell that too. I mean, you could even sell the hey, I'm not that confident. I'm shy. You could sell
Right.
that quick, and then
That's true.
just turn into a badass as soon as the bell rings, and
Yeah. Yeah,
that'd
because it
be
was
awesome.
like, when I started wrestling, they were like leaning into that China thing. They were like, don't make faces, like just look stoic. And I'm just like walking. I'm like, what do I do with my face? Like, what do I do? Kind of thing. And I just felt kind of awkward. So I feel like if I switched to face, I could just show more of my personality and just like be that superhero kind of gimmick. And it might flow a little more naturally for me. So
I can promise you, once you have a child, it will. I dress
yeah.
up as Gecko and Catboy and all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you'll be playing dinosaurs in no time. You'll be letting that guard right down. Yeah.
Yep. With the face heel talk, I want to get your opinion. What was your opinion on when John Cena did the whole flip when he flipped
Oh,
on Cody?
it was crazy. I didn't expect it at all. Like I was like, wow, and as I'm watching wrestling more and as I progressed over the last few years, like I've learned the characters and I've learned the backstories and watched old matches and stuff. And I just didn't expect it. I was like, this
No.
is crazy. This is weird. And then when they had him win, I was like, okay, he's not leaving. Like he's got to come back again.
Yep.
So
It hurt my heart. I'm going to be honest,
it
especially
hurt your
seeing him
heart.
seeing him hit Cody with that title bass. Oh God.
Oh, you're like,
I
no.
love the heels. I
He's
love the
from
heels.
Mass too, right? John Cena. I feel like
Yeah,
he's from Mass,
Newberry,
right?
West
Yeah.
Newberry, Mass. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, come on, Massachusetts. We do it all. We
I know, and I
comedian,
just recently
wrestler.
found out that Triple H was from Nashua, New Hampshire. So I was
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh, I
hell
saw.
yeah, New England.
Yeah, I saw Triple
Who
H in
is?
China in
China.
a Home Depot in New Hampshire, and I was
That's
way too scared
crazy.
to go up to him. I was like,
Wow.
those people are
Damn.
giants. But I knew it
He
was
was
them
probably
because
getting
I
a
don't know
sledgehammer.
anybody else.
You know, when I was younger, China's from Londonderry, and I was she came to our gymnastics school and like took pictures of her, and I wish that I could find that picture because it would be like me little with China, and I don't have it anywhere, but it would be a dope picture.
That
So
would be
there is a
awesome.
cosmic connection between you two.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
What's your favorite wrestling move, whether it's yours or whether it's somebody else's or historical? Like, is it something like a choke slam or is it just like a power bomb? Like, what's your favorite all time move?
Hmm. My favorite all-time move. That's hard. My favorite thing that I've done is the double stomp on the chair to
Yes,
Sunny.
He
That
was
was
just
like,
talking
I
about
was like,
that.
this is badass.
I was
But
hoping you were going to say that.
yeah.
standing moonsault, double stomp. Yes, I wrote it down.
Yes. Yes. And like I had no idea how I was gonna land it. Joey Janela was just like, "Hey, we're gonna put a chair on her back, and you're just gonna do a back tuck onto it, and we'll see what happens." And I was like, "Okay, bet."
Yeah, it happened. Oh,
That'd be
It
my
scared
worked.
to
favorite
death.
move.
It worked.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Does anybody know what time it is?
I'm gonna take a
I think
guess,
I
and
do.
I'm gonna go. Matt lives. Is that what it is?
Is correct,
Huh?
Miss
Huh?
Rossi. You get, even though Rick is here, Matt gifted me Matt Lives. You get to participate. I'm not having a seizure. I'm just doing this for editing purposes. So, content manager, if you will, the music, please. Oh, this one. That's gonna come back and haunt somebody. No, they're quick. They're quick. Easy one goes bye. And we're back. It'll be funny on Friday when you watch this.
It'll
But
make
anyway.
sense. It'll make sense.
Not so much now, but all right. I have 3 questions for you, Kayla.
Okay.
I'm very excited for these. So, first question, hardest receipt you've ever given and taken, and who was involved in those?
Well, probably given, I would say probably the double stomp. I also so there was this time that I was supposed to do what is that move called the where I jump off and do the front flip, like the half turn front flip.
I have that written down. Hold on.
I always forget what
Corkscrew
this is
moonsault.
called.
Corkscrew moonsault.
No, Phoenix Splash. So
Rats.
there was this time that I was supposed to do it, and I hate this because I think about it way too much than I should. But I was supposed to do a Phoenix Splash, and Joey Janelle like wrote this in to Sunny, and I was so green at the time. This was maybe like my third match, and was climbing up, and she was too far. She was too far away, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it to her. So I just ended up throwing this like 360 flip and landing on her, but kind of hit her with my knees. And I was like super stiff because I was supposed to do this Phoenix Splash, but I like think about it so often. And I'm like, if only I had done this Phoenix Splash because like no women do that. And it would have been so badass and so cool. And I never got the chance to do it again. So if I had the chance, I would go do that shit again. But, yeah.
I know you won't say it, but it was all her fault. It was all her fault.
Yeah. Well, I'm like looking back and I'm like, I don't know if I should tell him to move her closer. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that situation. So I was like, I'm just going to go for this because I know I can get further back. And yeah.
The ref should just kick her like he's moving some dirt
Yeah.
for the baseball
But
on.
now, like looking back and, as I've gotten more experience, I would kind of know more what to do in that situation or just like, especially being a heel at the time, it could have been like, move her closer, like kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that, and then I did an indie match in district with Angelica Risk and probably I got a black eye from just a drop kick. I was too close and just ate that drop kick. So, yeah.
All right. Next question. What is, and again, we'll try to keep it PG-13 here, but wildest thing that a fan has ever said or done?
Oof.
Ugh.
Wildest thing. We can keep it PG. So when I did the NWA match, these two guys drove like 15 hours to come see me at an NWA match and like had a sign and made me feel super special. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's
On
awesome.
like the heartful side. So yeah.
And they didn't try to like lure you into their van after or anything. They just
No, nothing crazy. I mean,
Good.
Landon was there, so
I was going to say he's
we made
6'4". Did you not hear that part? He's
Yeah,
6'4". He's
no.
probably jacked.
That sounds like the worst couple to run up on ever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I know. I feel bad for our daughter because she won't date until she's like 35.
There you go.
Yeah.
My mom will do a corkscrew stomp on you.
Yes.
You know, are you kidding me?
Through the table.
Yeah, through a table.
I would assume you and your husband could do the thing where you just run and he has his hand out and you put your foot in his hand and he just flips you like you're 7 years old and you.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I know. I always say that he should be like my manager. If like when I come back, like I feel like it would be so badass because he's just
That
like
would
this
be.
huge tattooed guy. So
Yep.
We got to sell him on that. Come on.
100%.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
That could be breaking news on this podcast right there.
There you
Breaking
go.
news. There you go.
Final question. Now, again, your resume is a mile long, and obviously, whatever it is that you put yourself in, you do it and you do it well. So, as you're getting older, becoming a mother, what new sport or path could you see yourself maybe getting into down the road? And you cannot say pickleball.
Pickleball. New sport or passion. I paint, and I used to do it a lot more than I do now. So I've been trying to get back into that. I also cook a lot, which is random. But in terms of sports, definitely not golf. Terrible at golf. I don't know.
That's
I don't
one
know.
less
I'm
female that
such
has to
like
whoop my butt at golf, so I'll take it.
refuse to acknowledge the fact that I'm getting older and my body is like breaking down on me. Like I've had 2 back surgeries and I'm 36. I'm like, okay, maybe you should find something that's not so intense. But then I'm like, no, you just are born to be intense. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yep.
Don't know.
I can tell you will hit the crossroads you will hit with athletics and sports of any variety when you have a child is, hey, if I'm immobile and they're mobile, that won't work.
Issue.
So
yeah.
And that's
it's
when you
an
start
issue.
coaching.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe you'll see me, get into some fly fishing or something.
Nice. Nice.
That's not real.
Would you ever do power slapping? Would you ever do that?
Slapping?
Oh, no. Just go first every time.
My husband is in the background like, no.
Would he ever do it?
Would you ever do it?
Maybe.
All right, there you go.
I would love to do like a MMA fight. And I know that's very physical, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And he's gonna say no. But yeah.
What about like
I think
sparring?
That would be pretty badass.
What about like a spar? Like you're not trying to knock each other's teeth out, but you're still grappling and getting it in.
Yeah, I mean, I did Muay Thai for about 4 or 5 years until I moved and then got into wrestling. I just kind of stopped doing it, but I would love to do something in MMA or maybe get into jiu-jitsu or something like that. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty badass.
Bonus question, have you ever had a moment in your life when maybe someone did something they shouldn't have and then they realized, oh crap, she's jacked and can beat the crap out of all of us. I made a mistake. Or do people just not even try when it comes to you?
I don't know if I can say this on here because I don't want to get in trouble. I did have a situation where someone very close to me was hurt. And let's just say that dude ended up in the hospital with a broken orbital bone. So
I wonder how.
just don't mess with people I love, man. Like
maybe you should do the power slapping.
Yeah. It doesn't happen often. I mean, people I feel like are intimidated by me and they won't try me, but occasionally, if they just don't know, then
That
Here we
plays
are.
right into your superhero character that you
Yes.
could come back with. I mean, that's perfect. You're going to get angry at a certain point. Don't get her to that point, and all of a sudden she snaps. That's fantastic. The script writes
See,
itself. I
we're
mean, it's
writing the
right there for you.
script
Yeah, it's right there
as we
for you.
go.
Listen, if your husband doesn't want to manage you, Rick or Ramon, I mean, dress for the part. Love to
He's
make
got the
people
look.
angry. That'll be great.
He's got the
Got
look.
the look. For sure.
Well, again, Kayla, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, first female guest we've ever had. I am beyond honored that you came on. Thank you for giving us a shot. This is, again, just a dream and a wish that we're trying to put into motion, and you're helping us see that. So, again,
No, that's
really
awesome. I had so
appreciate
much fun with you guys, and you guys are really cool and really dope. So if I can support you in any way, just let me know how I can help. And good luck with everything. Let's blow this shit to the moon. Seriously.
Yes, you set the bar high for any future guests,
So,
female
thank
and
you.
male. Believe me.
And she
Awesome.
said the magic word, which means it's time to go, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
I said
Once
shit.
again, we are the Clashing Conferences, ladies and gentlemen. You are more than welcome to join us at any given time. Please come out and check us out. You can check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Patreon. Again, we are always looking for new members. Philly Jim has just finally joined our ranks. We have over 20-something people on our roster. We are growing by the day. I'm loving everything that I'm seeing that we're doing. And if you like it, then you can come be a part of it too. Hey, shooting for the moon, baby. Clashing Conferences. Me and Miss Rossi are beating up some Knickerbockers. Boom, boom, boom.